With the Earthrise chapter of the show streaming soon, let's open up Transformers War for Cybertron Siege. This reimagining of the Transformers series is one I've been wanting to address for a long time, so let's get started. This is the first of a trilogy. It has 6 parts that form one complete storyline. Let's start with the first chapter. We open on the planet Cybertron, the waning days of the war between the Autobots and Decepticons. Many of us know the story, but the things this version does with the material are great. Much like the original show, the first characters we see are Wheeljack and Bumblebee. This is the chipper, capable character you might be familiar with. Initially, it's not like Han Solo, not taking in one side, sort of a scoundrel heart of gold. They're nearly spotted by Skywarp as a sentry, but B is able to find a cache of Energon and Space Bridge. Right off the bat, I'm really liking the art direction of the series. Some of the toy accuracy on Hasbro's files. Designs are simple yet effective evolution of the originals. Wheeljack and Bumblebee are ambushed by Skywarp and the other Seekers. Starscream, Thundercracker, and Jetfire. Starscream tries to execute them, but Jetfire cuts off his arm, and Screamer lets his intentions to take over the Seekers known. He always has Megatron's back in his sights. Right on cue, Megatron enters the bunker, and I like this depiction of this character. Rather than power and greed like the original series, this version has a vision for how he wants to bring Cybertron under his wing. As he sees it, he is unifying Cybertron his own way. As Megatron tries to court Wheeljack and Bumblebee, Optimus Prime comes barreling in as Megatron orders their execution. This is a great entry, does a great job establishing their version of characters. Megatron claims to want a treaty, but in truth, he wants to subjugate the entire planet. I must say, the animation is quite impressive. I'm liking the stylized approach to take with the characters. Let's turn out Megatron betrayed and murdered Alpha Trion's continuity just as Megatron's about to execute Prime. His sword is shot out of his hand by Leader 1. I have plenty to say about her and the other female Autobots in this review. I will also note that the tone is definitely a big reason why I love this series. Not quite as dark as G.I. Resolute. It's arguably the darkest Transformers animation since Beast Machines, a show which I really enjoyed. Bumblebee is still reluctant to join up, but Leader 1 tells him the alternative, and how the cons are far less forgiving. I also like the show's version of the Ark, their base and transport. Also goes Ultra Madness, and the story takes some creative liberties with this character that I think suits it well. I'll tell you more of the course of this review. I like how this version shows that even if no one asked to be soldiers in the war, that they rose to the occasion all the same. I don't know why, but I always had a soft spot for those kind of stories. On that note, Megatron's just troops in Decepticon capital city of Kaon hits much harder this year for a number of reasons. As Starscream and Jetfire continue to vibe in Megatron's favor, Megatron orders the Seekers to find Optimus and the other Autobots. Just then, the hooded figure appears in the throne room before them. It's Ultra Madness, offering himself as a surrender as military commander. I just like the illusion of Tannhauser Gate, in homage to the Tannhauser Gate from Blade Runner. Miss you, Rutger Hauer. Back at the Ark, Optimus addresses the other Autobots about the situation. Despite Madness' surrender, Optimus vows to continue to fight them together with the iconic phrase, "Till all are one." Elsewhere, Megatron and Shockwave are after the Allspark for their own purpose, a reformation where they'll de-res every Autobot on the planet. Okay, so I have Illusion of Tron as well. Nice. Back in the Autobot capital city of Iacon, they've received a message from Madness about the Allspark, and they realize they need to find out what the Decepticons do, as whoever gets it can turn the tide of the war. I must say, while the version story that involved the Allspark, this actually might be the best use of it to date. The sound was intercepted Madness' message, and Megatron realized that Optimus was after the Allspark. However, Megatron anticipated this and decides to make this work to his advantage. Before Optimus goes to search it out, his forces are waiting for them. Megatron manages to make use of Madness' message. As the Autobots search, ambushed by Decepticons, wounding Cog in the process, they escape just in time with the second company and Impactor's buried under debris. Bumblebee has even scooped up a massive Energon cube under them both. It comes clear that Madness will not yield. Megatron orders Shockwave to accelerate his plans. I also like how this series approached Ratchet as he finds Impactor in the debris. Also now has a new plan to get the Allspark off Cybertron, and Starscream doesn't take kindly to Megatron's reformatting plan. As previously stated, he always has Megatron's back in his sights. Jetfire catches one of Starscream's descent, and even Megatron has his own questions about their loyalty. Back with Wheeljack, he intends to repair a space bridge to get the Allspark and themselves off Cybertron, recruiting Ratchet to help. As is shown, resisting Shockwave's interrogation, putting Megatron to enable all his tactics. With little help from Mirage, the Autobots are to find Ratchet after a fight with Refractor, who is the new name for the character Reflector. Copyright law is weird like that sometimes. Everyone meets Ratchet, who was once an admiral before he left the war to become a medic. He's reluctant to help, but a chance meeting with Impactor in his workshop leads into another turn in his path. Even with the advanced techniques, Magnus still won't yield, but Megatron knew he'd try this. As Magnus is not back to herself, Ratchet is reluctant to hear about the plans to repair the space bridge, but he changes his mind when he realizes what could happen if the Allspark falls in Megatron's hands. Even Impactor realizes former leader has gone to the deep end and agrees to help their efforts despite their unease. Shock continues probing Ultramanus, who finally seems to yield to Allspark's location, and Jetfire finally can't bear let Megatron range continue. It was eventually Autobots, but a recurring plot that ever since Riddle Carrot's appearance. It's probably one of the most effective users to date. As we pass the halfway point in this chapter, I once again state Megatron just his troops hits different this year, especially with how he co-ops with Ray's till all are one. Now comes the moment that convinced me to review this season. Ultramanus at the Tarnhauser Gate. Megatron leads Magnus to Alpha Tri Memorial at the gate, but Magnus will not betray the Autobots. Megatron shoots him in the chest. As the light fades on his body, it takes disguise and enters Bumblebee. This is just a great moment, a fantastic way to update the series with New Generation. The Alpha Trion protocols have been activated, and Jetfire officially attacks the Autobots. A very impressive aerial escape between him and the Seekers. I really like how the series handles his character, and now we finally have to show a figure of him that's not John Lasso at the owners of Macross. Ratchet arrives back at the Ark, tells Red Alert that it's time to test his mettle. Alpha Trion protocols have gotten into Bumblebee as Optimus sends Mirage and Ratchet start fixing the space bridge. So later on points to the risk involved, Optimus asks her to ready the Ark while Optimus continues searching the Allspark. And he has been very heavy on us in all our own ways, especially like they're handling this character, a symbol of hope even in the darkest hour. Though Sideswipe is reluctant to work with Impactor, everyone moves forward with a plan as they don't have many other options. Elsewhere, Optimus goes to confer with the Guardians. Spirits of leaders that come before him realize that protocols aren't there. Spirits was ambushed by the Seekers, was shot down by Chromia. The other Autobots escape as Ratchet and Impactor continue their work. Instructions from one of the Decepticon commander of the Seekers. I gotta say that I love Soundwave's reaction to the news as most inferior. Back at the Ark, Wheeljack has nearly activated Teletran 1, and Bumblebee comes to the Optimus about the other Triumph protocols, which chose him. I like how this adding to Bee's character, and you can see where this arc leads on the next couple of seasons. He knows where to find the Allspark, and Jetfire has come to join their team. Megatron plans to infect the Autobots with a virus using Magnus as its vessel. The plan is yet another one that hits differently this year. As Jetfire officially joins up with the Autobots, Bumblebee has found a map of the Allspark's location. Unfortunately, it's in the Sea of Rust, and no one opts in resources. They unless Jetfire to lead the search. The Spirit Bridge operational. The system Megatron unleashes the virus. Bumblebee goes to get the raw energy from Sound Blaster, who in this version isn't that great of a Soundwave, but a different character entirely. Hound, Prowl, and Moonracer join Optimus and Jetfire in the journey through the Sea of Rust. It's pretty spectacular to see all things considered. Elita 1 Order begins making a play for the raw energon. Megatron's found their plan. The biggest move against the Autobots, the virus spreads. The Sea of Rust. As the virus is a mass of sparkless machines, so we hear the end of this chapter. Moonracer is killed as Bee continues trying to get out with the energon. Just as all seems grim, the Allspark shines overhead. Now there is still hope as the Autobots must get the artifact off planet. The 6th episode essentially reimagining of the escape from Cybertron during its final battle. As everyone tries to get to the space bridge, one highlight of Starscream clashing with Jetfire, and this is a great example of how the series adds in mythos and new ways while still respecting what came before. As the battle continues by the space bridge, Optimus and Megatron clash with their ideals, so to speak. One shall stand, one shall fall. The Ark is active. Everyone makes their way to the space bridge to get it active. Impactor is mortally wounded, sacrificing himself so the Autobots can escape. The whole final sequence was pretty spectacular. Very eager to see the next 2 chapters, and if Hasbro wants to make an anime film spin-off, I'm very much open to the idea. The Allspark and Autobots, let's head to the space bridge, and even get help from one of their Guardians, Omega Supreme. Closing the Leader ones, team behind to protect Cybertron, but the story to be continued next time. I've said before that rebooting any series is no easy task. For everyone that works at the 2017 DuckTales, we have travesties like Thundercats Roar. Thankfully, this is not only an excellent show in its own right, it's one of the best Transformers adaptations I've seen in the last decade. Much like the video games that previously detailed the conflict, it doesn't pull punch on depicting the war, and is easily a series I'm glad to help me through this mess of a year. With Earthrise Chapter streaming soon, I'm glad I was able to share my thoughts with you all. My final rating is 4 out of 4. I have my first viewing thoughts on Earthrise Chapter had a full review in early 2021. Until the day, till all are one.